Welcome to the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. I am Justin Allen Hayes, founder and executive director of Voices for Voices. We're going to go ahead and jump straight into our conversation today. Really excited to have our guests joining us. If you are able to, please like and share, follow us, reach out to your friends, your family, loved ones, share this show with them and podcasts. And again, this comes in all forms, comes on the TV, it is on our YouTube channel, and then all audio platforms. So we're really trying to reach and help the most people. If you want to learn more about Voices for Voices, we are a 501c3 nonprofit charity organization. You can visit us at voicesforvoices.org or on any of the social media platforms to find the latest and greatest that we are working on, planning, and again, trying to reach that goal over my lifetime to help 3 billion people over the course of my lifetime and beyond. So we'll go ahead and jump in. As I said, joining us from Lorain, Ohio is Jessica Ann Stewart. She is the owner of Given Accessibility. She is a large advocate for the disabled community. And if we look at Given Accessibility, she has kind of 3 pillars that really describe that. And those 3 are awareness, advocate, and accessibility. And also, Jessica Ann went through the arduous process of working with the United States Patent and Trade Organization and getting Given Accessibility registered. So it gives just extra credibility to her work, her organization. Helps obviously with algorithms when people are doing searches across the web on apps. Jessica Ann is also a huge Ohio sports fan and likes fishing. So Jessica Ann Stewart, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. To get started, can you maybe talk about where the advocate in you came from, kind of how that got started, and then we can mold and transition into Given Accessibility and where you're at, and then all the great things and the outreach that you're doing.
Yeah, so I was a Lorain County Community College student, and that's what started my advocacy. 'Cause the college was not 100% accessible, so I had to kind of work with them to make it more accessible for me as me being a wheelchair user.
How,
So I worked with the accessibility office to kind of make it more accessible for me as a wheelchair user.
so being able to reach out to the accessibility office, that's something that some of us, reaching out to people that we might not know is a little bit scary, and like, okay, who do I talk to? Do I visit them in their office, or how do I even start the process? Was it an easy process because you had that drive of wanting the accessibility to be more uniform across school?
Yeah. So when I first registered as a student, one of the first things is I registered with the accessibility office so that I could be more successful in the classroom. And then as time went on, as I was going through my student career at the college, I noticed that, like for example, some of the buttons on the doors wasn't working, so I would have to go to them and ask them to fix it. So that kind of what started, I guess, my advocacy.
Yeah, and that's important. As for me as a person, I know there's many things that I take for granted, and like you mentioned, the buttons on the door. would take that for granted because I would look at the options and say, okay, well the button's not working, so I'll just go ahead and open the door. But that's not the case, and that's where bringing everybody together and learning that we need to make everything accessible. Everything from one of the hot topics is accessible playgrounds as well. That children are able, no matter what they look like, what their disability, what their ability is, taking all that out and just say, if a child wants to go play on a playground, let's give them a space to do it and not have to make different steps along the way. So thank you for doing that for your school and your college, because I think that probably opened up their eyes of there's some of their student base that they rely on some of these things that we sometimes might take for granted. How did that conversation go? Did you just ask, or did you say, "Look, here's the problem"? Just from somebody out there might be going through the same thing across the nation or across the world, and they're saying, "Oh, well, the button's on for the doors open at my school, or where I go to maybe to the gym or whatever that might be, they're not working." And so what's the process? What would be a conversation? Was it just as simple as, "Excuse me, I utilize the buttons on the doors, they're not working, can we fix that?"
So what I would do is when I go to the accessibility office, I would go to the front desk and I'd say, hey, this door in this building is not working. So they would then put a work order in. But, sometimes that can be a slow process. So once in a while, I'll have to remind them, like, hey, this door is still not working. So yeah, it is a little bit of a process. You do have to be willing to speak up for yourself. Otherwise, the problem will never be fixed if they don't know.
Absolutely. And what you just said, I think is key, is stand up for yourself. And if there are things that don't look right, don't feel right, bring those topics up, find individuals that can at least address it, and it might be fixed in a day, it might be fixed in a month, or whatever that time frame might be. But I bet that made you feel good about yourself when you go through that. You're like, look, I was able to do this. I was able to affect a positive change.
Yeah. And there was also another incident where in one of the bathrooms, I used to work in the library at Lorain County Community College, and the paper towel thing was way too high. So I then went to the accessibility office again, and I said, "Hey, I can't reach the paper towels. Can you lower it so I can?" So then they went through the maintenance people, and the maintenance people put a brand new paper towel in there and lowered it so I could reach it, and also the soap as well.
Okay, great. That's great to hear you take an action, seeing a problem that is able to be fixed and should be fixed, just as an organization, if they sell a product to their consumers, they want to make sure that it's accessible to the consumer so they can purchase it. And you, at the time being a consumer at the school, being enrolled, you're effectively paying their salaries through tuition and what have you. And so being a consumer, you were able to take that step forward, and now you're able to have an organization that you're an owner of that is entitled Given Accessibility. How did that come about? Was that an easy transition, or a lot of thought went into it?
Well, what's funny? I never even thought about being an entrepreneur. Um, I'm am uh, going to Kent State University with a partnership with Lorain County Community College to uh, get a bachelor's degree in business, general business administration with a minor in marketing. And in 2019, I took a entrepreneurship class. And one thing that I always love is that uh, majority of entrepreneurship is built on problems that need to be fixed. And I just thought that related a lot to me. And that's how it kind of started.
Fantastic. So the words given accessibility, was it easy to think of that, or what did that process look like?
At first, I named it the perspective of accessibility, and I used a wheelchair symbol. But then I realized that the name was way too long, and I shouldn't just use the wheelchair symbol. You know, y- uh, I should try to bring where it's not just wheelchair users and it's not just one disability. I should do it to where it brings everybody together.
Absolutely. And for those tuning in to this broadcast on TV, YouTube, or even on the audio platforms, checking out the Given Accessibility logo, do you want to share what that looks like for somebody and how they can find that?
Yeah. So it's a circle. It's red on the left, purple in the middle, and green on the right. And then on the bottom, it has awareness, advocate, and accessibility. And there's three people. There's a red person on the left, a purple wheelchair in the middle, and then a green person on the left. And then on the very top, it says given accessibility. And all the E's are in a upward angle, which is how I used to write my E's.
Oh, wow. The colors, how'd that come about, the choices of what colors to use and what order to put them in?
Well, the red was actually my daddy's favorite color,
Uh-huh.
and I put him on the left side because he's left-handed. I wanted to be in the middle
Uh-huh.
because I'm holding hands with my daddy, and then on the right is my mother, and I'm holding hands with her. And green is her favorite color.
Oh, awesome. Uh,
Hmm.
so you received and you're continuing to receive support from their family. Can you talk just a little bit about that, the importance of that, and supporting what you want to go after and go down some of these ventures, which might seem a little bit difficult, even just
Hmm.
to anybody, regardless of who they are and where they're from.
Hmm. Yeah. So my mama always supported me, and when I was a kid, I couldn't really speak up for myself, so she would be the one to like, I guess, give me what I need, take care of me, uh, get me to what the word, where I would be able to get what I need as far as education, be able to live in the house, um, be able to go out, and then, you know, I wanted to kind of homage my daddy somehow because he passed away in 2020. So I wanted to make a logo to where he could live on.
Oh, yeah, that's touching from all kind of perspectives of so much thought
Hmm.
went into what you're doing and what you're continuing to do, and that's speaking about fathers. My father just recently he's still living, but he was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer and given with treatment somewhere between like a year and 2 years to live. And so I'm starting to just take more advantage of the time with him than I had him previously. And
Mhm.
obviously, there's, things happen in the past, good, bad, and so really just trying to just be there and talk with him and sit with him. So I can't understand what losing a father is like, but I can understand learning news about, okay, here's what's going on, and then how are we gonna progress. So that's so awesome that you're able to honor him and continue his legacy through the work that you do. So given accessibility registered with the United States Patent and Trade Office, can you talk a little bit about that process of what that entails, and then what you were looking for as an outcome of once this is completed and approved, what does that mean for given accessibility?
Mhm. So it's it's actually a very hard and long process, and I would recommend if you wanted to do any registration, whether it's a trademark or a patent, get yourself a qualified lawyer and have them help you because it is a long, tedious um, process, especially when it comes to the application. Um, and even once the application is done, it's mostly just a long waiting process. For me, let's see, I filed it on June 29th of 2022,
Okay.
and it got registered August 8th of 2023. So that's over a year, right?
Yeah. Wow.
Um, so yeah, it is a very long process, and you have to keep up with it.
Mm.
Check the status to make sure you don't have to send nothing else in, and just wait and see.
Yeah, and it's interesting that we're chatting about that. So Voices for Voices, we submitted our application and at the end of January 2023, and we're in that waiting process. So to talk to you about kind of your timeline kind of helps me feel a little bit better that I'm not the only person that's kind of going through the waiting process. That's kind of just how it is. So the day that you learned about it and then the message came in the mail, can you talk to us about that feeling of the waiting process, given accessibility, and another accomplishment for you?
So yeah, so actually, I think I I I didn't even because usually I check my status every day, and I think I actually skipped my day,
Uh-huh.
and I noticed that I got email from my lawyer that hey, your logo registered, and I was just so excited and so happy, and I printed out the electronic certificate, and I was like, wow, look at that.
Yeah, it's such an amazing accomplishment to do that, and the organization and the work that you have and you're continuing to do. Can you talk maybe about given accessibility and how the Facebook group is helping people and what you maybe see as a vision for the future?
So yeah, I noticed that a lot of people will ask for help, like, hey, I'm looking for a wheelchair. So I noticed that, members try to help each other out, try to give suggestions, or if they're selling a wheelchair themselves. Um, so it's just a lot of like, I guess, a lot of help and advice. So what I want to do is I want to try to turn given accessibility to a referral company where we put everything and everybody in one place where like let's say you're looking for something, you're looking for a service, but you just don't know where to go. Cause you could Google like, hey, I'm a disabled person and I'm looking for employment, and you'll get a whole bunch of, results. So I kind of want to be that place where, okay, what do you come to us? What do you need? And here's the suggestions that we have for you.
Wow. And you're not just reaching people in Ohio. Can you talk about how the footprint of given accessibility is able to grow due to the advent of the internet, the social media platforms, and how you're able to reach and help more people than if it was maybe just a local Northeast Ohio thing?
Uh, so yeah, I try to share other organizations that support disabled community, not just Ohio. I try to share outside of Ohio, and I noticed that more people are joining outside of Ohio because I'm doing that. It's not just uh, local.
Hmm.
We're reaching more people.
Yeah, that's exciting. I know from my experience when I learned of the first person, the first testimonial of somebody in uh, Australia or Italy or Ukraine, where they're reaching out and just saying, hey, thanks for doing this. And then also looking at, the analytics, the numbers, the behind the scenes information that we can see, where not everybody is going to send a comment, but to be able to see that, oh wow, this feed, this show, this thing that we're doing is reaching all the continents across the world, and who would have thought that would even be possible, from a house, from a basement, from a room. And I think that's, speaking for myself, one of the great feelings of knowing that that's happening. But then also puts added pressure in a way on myself of trying to make sure the best I can that we're catering to everybody, that it's not just one given audience or one specific geographic location. But yeah, where can people find out about given accessibility, and where do you want to guide them, like your plug for that?
Well, for now we are on LinkedIn and Facebook. For now. Eventually, like I said, I want to turn it into a referral company. So I'm kind of just in the, I guess, thought process now,
Hmm.
how I want to be able to help people. Because I want to reach like the elder community as well. So I don't know if an app would be a best suited for that, or if I want to do a website. I'm still thinking about that. And plus, I'm still going to school and I'm working. So for now, we'll do social media, and then maybe after I graduate, I'll work on step towards that.
Great. So naming wise, should people look up Jessica Ann Stewart on Facebook and Given Accessibility on Facebook, and then the same on LinkedIn, or where would you recommend they go to?
Actually, I think if they search just given accessibility
Hmm.
on Facebook, and Lincoln, it will pop right up.
Okay.
And then again, my name will be associated with that. So,
How's it feel to be an owner of an organization?
oh, it's nice. I enjoy the attention, I do have to say.
Yeah. Are you able with your schoolwork to do maybe different projects and work on given accessibility through different ways and means and share with your class and your professors?
Yeah, like in the introduction, I'll like mention it, and then sometimes people join, uh, but maybe not, maybe not everybody, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But I will share it with my class at first, and then just focus on the schoolwork. But the schoolwork will allow me to learn more how to run, uh, be able to run my given accessibility.
Awesome. Did we miss anything that you wanted to share before we close out?
Yeah, I did notice when you were talking about your daddy. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to say that the reason I put my daddy under the awareness side is because he did suffer a stroke in
Oh.
2011, and we didn't know anything about strokes before that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, because of him, I was able to learn more about strokes, and yeah, there's a lot of education with that.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you
y-
for sharing that. Uh, that's helpful. Uh, so we're at the end of our time. Don't log off. We'll grab some pictures for social media. But Jessica Ann Stewart, owner of Given Accessibility, thank you so much for joining us today. We wish you nothing but success and all your future endeavors. And thank you for being another voice to help others and try to make the world a little bit better.
thank you.
You're welcome. And we want to thank our audience, our viewers, our listeners, those checking out our subtitles, our transcripts on this episode of the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. We are just thrilled to be able to put this together and bring it to you and bring fantastic guests and human beings like Jessica Ann to you. So until next time, I am Justin Allen Hayes, founder and executive director of Voices for Voices, and please be a voice for you or somebody in need.